Unlock the hidden secrets of your soul to awaken sacred pleasure and transform your journey. I never expected a single dream to change everything. It was just another night, ordinary, until it wasn't. The moment I closed my eyes, my entire world flipped. In the dream, I stood at the edge of a shimmering lake, the water rippling like liquid glass under a starlit sky. I felt a pull, a deep, magnetic energy. An ancient whisper called to me, promising secrets buried in the depths of my soul. But when I woke up, confusion gripped me. My heart raced, pounding like a drum against my ribs. Was it just a dream? Or was it something more? I could still taste the cool breeze of that night, feel the electric charge hanging in the air. Like a warning light, shadows danced around my waking hours. Was I merely sleepwalking through life? I sat in silence, trees swayed outside my window, their branches waving like hands beckoning me. I searched for signs, hoping they'd guide me, but all I found were questions. Why did that dream feel so real? Why did it awaken something deep within? Echoes of laughter and sorrow mingled in my mind. Was I an outsider in my own skin? As days passed, dreams spiraled into nightmares. Strange symbols haunted my thoughts, colors blended into a brilliant chaos. I felt lost, yet deeply connected, as if the universe was calling me to discover something hidden. Tension hung in the air, thick like fog, and my breath quickened with each passing moment. Was I ready for this journey ahead? That one dream stirred something inside me, an uncomfortable excitement, a fear of what lay beneath the surface. The unfamiliar turned familiar, and the strange held a sense of belonging. I yearned to understand, I craved the truth. But just as I dared to take a step forward, an overwhelming silence swallowed the sound of my thoughts. All I could do was hold my breath and wonder, what secrets awaited me beyond the horizon. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. As the dawn broke, the hues of orange and violet splashed across the horizon. I lingered in the dreamy remnants of the night. My heart still pulsed with the remnants of the lake, its waters beckoning me with unspoken promises. I felt more than just the weight of my confusion. I sensed the weight of possibility, a universe unfolding beyond my understanding. Days turned into a haze of introspection, a dance between excitement and trepidation. I often wandered to a small park nearby, where the trees stood as sentinels, whispering secrets with every gust of wind. As I transitioned between sleep and wakefulness, I started to notice patterns. Sometimes, the rustling leaves seemed to echo the sentiments swirling within me, inviting me to listen, to discover. Point one afternoon, as I sat on a bench, a woman approached me. She moved with an elegance that resembled the flowing water of my dreams, and her eyes sparkled like the stars I had observed from the shore of that mystical lake. Without a word, she sat beside me. There was no awkwardness, only a shared understanding that transcended spoken language. You are searching for something that runs deeper than the surface, aren't you? Her voice, melodic and soothing, struck a chord within me. I looked into her eyes, and I could see the flicker of understanding that danced behind them. How did you? It shows, she interrupted gently. I was once lost in the same currents, wrestling with a pull I didn't understand. The soul sings a song that only those who are willing to truly listen can hear. Her words wrapped around me as I nodded, feeling seen for perhaps the first time. What do I do? I whispered, the vulnerability in my voice exposing my raw desire for clarity. The journey is as significant as the destination, she replied cryptically. Seek the signs, they are all around you. Trust your intuition. It knows the path even when your mind is confused. With that, she rose and walked away, her presence lingering like a fragrant bloom that had come and gone too quickly. That encounter ignited a spark within me, urging me to take a closer look at the world around me, to seek answers that lay hidden in plain sight, and so I did. I began to observe. The pattern of the leaves rustling together felt like a symphony, each movement a note in an eternal song. I noticed the way the sunlight trickled through the branches, casting patterns on the ground, an intricate dance of shadows and light. Each small detail began to tell a story, weaving a narrative that connected the universe to my very existence. At night, I returned to the lake of my dreams in my mind, and I found myself questioning the nature of reality. Was this world merely a reflection of the energy we brought to it? Could the laughter of children echoing in the distance remind me of forgotten joy, or was it an invitation back to innocence? With every encounter and each symbol I uncovered, my heart expanded with curiosity, balancing on the edge of fear and wonder. I felt a yearning and unquenchable thirst for truth, yet, the deeper I delved into this exploration, new questions bubbled to the surface. What if I was looking in all the wrong places? Was I searching for validation, or was I braving the uncharted waters of my own soul? What if the signs I had longed for were merely reflections of my internal struggles, a celebration of my complexity? As the moon rose high one night, casting a silver sheen upon the waters, I stood at the lakeside, grappling with the gravity of my revelations. With feelings colliding in my chest, I pondered, could it be that the answers I sought weren't outside of me, but rather buried deep within? What if the journey was never about uncovering hidden secrets but about embracing the sacred dance of discovery itself? And in that moment, as I gazed into the water, a profound sense of stillness enveloped me, but even in the silence of that clarity, new uncertainty beckoned. Was I ready to embrace the full breadth of my soul, the joys, the fears, the unknowns that lingered just beyond the horizon? The nights grew longer, wrapping around me like a comforting shawl, but the stillness was frequently punctuated by whispers from the shadows, whispers urging me to listen deeper. I would often find myself at the lake during twilight, a place where reality and dreams intertwined like the mist rising from the water surface. On one of those evenings, the moon stood full and luminous, its reflection shimmering in the water like a doorway to realms unseen. A profound yearning guided me to scatter stones across the shores, their tactile nature grounding me in this strange journey. Each stone felt like a question thrown into the water: who am I? What am I searching for? It was exhilarating, yet my heart trembled with vulnerability. Like ripples expanding outward, I dared to hope that for every question I cast, answers might return. As I glanced into the depths of the lake, I felt an echo of the woman's words envelop me: trust your intuition. Uncertainty lurked in the corners of my thoughts, yet amidst the chaos, a flicker of bravery ignited. Then, in a moment that felt ordained by forces beyond my understanding, a shape emerged from the depths. It coiled and undulated through the water, revealing itself to be a silvery fish that glimmered as if infused with moonlight. The creature swung gracefully back and forth, showing me glimpses of hidden depths beneath the surface. In its movements, I saw stories of resilience, the dance of life despite turbulence, and an unwavering pursuit of light. I leaned closer to the water, entranced, and realized that perhaps the fish was not just a harbinger from the lake but a reflection of my own journey, a reminder of the beauty that cradled vulnerability, the sacred pleasure of simply being alive. Show me, I found myself whispering into the night. Show me the secrets I seek. The fish paused, suspended in time, before darting deeper into the depths. My heart raced as I pondered my fleeting connection with ether, connection that stirred something profound within me. Weeks passed, and I immersed myself in the world around me. I engaged in conversations with strangers, listened to the laughter of children, and noticed the way the seasons painted the landscapes around me. Every rustling leaf, every playful breeze felt filled with purpose, each moment a part of an intricate tapestry of existence. One afternoon, while walking through the park, I encountered an elderly man with twinkling eyes who sat sketching under a grand oak tree. Drawn in by the joy radiating from his presence, I approached. "What are you capturing?" I inquired, intrigued by the strokes of his pencil as they danced across the paper. "Life," he replied, a grin spreading across his face. Moments that whisper the secrets of the universe. Every shadow tells a story, every light holds a promise. His words resonated with the very core of my being. But how can one decipher those secrets? I questioned. Be why surrendering to the experience, he said, his gaze unwavering. You must allow the universe to unfold itself to you. The answers lie not in the seeking, but in the presence. His sketch, I noticed, depicted a serene lake with ripples that betrayed a secret depth, allowing the viewer to glimpse into a world beyond. As I marveled at his artistry, I began to understand the art of presence. In the very act of being alive, of observing and experiencing, I was on the brink of uncovering those hidden layers that lay within me. Inspired, I returned to the shore that evening, the rhythm of my heart aligning with the sighing of the waves. Sitting cross-legged on the wet sand, I immersed myself in silence, merging with the essence of the lake. Waves lapped at my feet, and the sound echoed the melodies of my deepest questions, the unknown paths that lay waiting before me. Still, a cloud of uncertainty loomed. What did it mean to surrender fully? As the moonlight bathed me in its ethereal glow, I wondered whether surrendering might also mean confronting those parts of my soul that I had long buried in fear, the insecurities, the grief, the desires that felt too extravagant. To name a shiver caused me to draw my knees closer, wrapped in the warmth of the moment. As the night deepened, I marveled at my journey thus far, yet questions flickered like fireflies in the dark. Would I be able to dive into the depths of my own being, embracing the wild uncertainties of my humanity? What if the journey was not merely about clarity but the exquisite embrace of the mystery themselves? Surrounded by shadows and starlight, I felt the lake echo my questions, a vast mirror of my soul's journey. I was but a seeker, a wanderer on the path toward awakening. Would I trust in the unfolding, even if the answers eluded me? And as I settled into that uncertainty, the stars above twinkled in silent agreement, beckoning me onward into the infinite unknown. The following night, the air was heavier, charged with an electricity that tingled against my skin. As the moon shone bright once more, I felt a magnetic pull toward the lake, an urge to dissolve the boundary between myself and the water that had become a sanctuary for my yearning. Each step towards the shimmering edge was imbued with a sense of adventure, a whisper of encouragement echoing in the caverns of my heart. When I reached the shore, the lake felt alive, a portal to 1,000 possibilities, as though it had drawn me into its embrace with a promise of revelation. I sat cross-legged, just as before, welcoming the sensations as they washed over me. A gentle breeze swirled through the night, scattering silver dust and stirring the depths of my consciousness. As if sensing my presence, the water shimmered softly, inviting me to surrender my fears. Closing my eyes, I guided my breath into a rhythm, allowing it to cradle me in stillness. I envisioned the silvery fish, my ancient guide, dancing beneath the surface. Their journey reminded me of my own, one entwined with hardship yet bursting with the hope of transformation. As I delved deeper into meditation, I envisioned the depth of the lake becoming clearer with each inhale, each exhale pulling me toward understanding. Suddenly, amidst my introspection, a vision stirred and emerged. I found myself standing before a labyrinth, each twist and turn enshrouded in mist. I knew intuitively that each path represented a fragment of my being, my joys, my fears, my dreams, all leading to aspects of my soul both familiar and foreign. The air around me vibrated with whispers of knowledge gleaned from experiences that shied away from the light. Before I could comprehend it fully, an echo resonated deep within the labyrinth. To unlock the hidden secrets of your soul, you must first embrace the shadows. My heart raced as I wrestled with this paradox, feeling the weight of its gravity. Embrace the fears you have long avoided. The grief that binds you. The desires that feel forbidden. A flicker of doubt ignited within, battling my inclination toward surrender. Yet, as if the universe anticipated my hesitance, the ground shifted beneath me, creating a pathway illuminated with soft, golden light. I stepped forward, propelled by an instinct driven by an ineffable trust, the very essence of surrender. With each step into the labyrinth, flashes of memories arose, moments of laughter and heartache intertwined, lost dreams and abandoned hopes resurfacing like shadows, demanding recognition. But strangely, alongside each memory, a fierce sense of clarity emerged. What I had feared the most, I also cherished. The shadows were not solely burdens, they contained wisdom, fragments of my essence yearning to be integrated. In the heart of the labyrinth, I came upon a statue, an intricate vision of a woman decorated in flowing robes, her hands poised upward as if inviting the skies to shower her with blessings. Beneath her was an inscription, "From Surrender blooms sacred pleasure. Confront your fears and awaken your grace." Tears threatened to spill as I absorbed the wisdom encapsulated within those words. It felt as though I had unveiled a veil of truth connecting my journey with the universe's endless rhythm. I understood then that this awakening was not merely about discovering the light within but embracing the entirety of my humanity, the bliss and the pain that coalesced to create the richness of my experience. In that moment, the fish and the elderly man coalesced into a singular vision of guidance. They were symbols not of perfection but of authenticity, daring me to be brave to welcome my shadows and to recast them as poignant notes on the grand symphony of my life. This was a new path revealing itself, an unknown territory of vibrant colors hidden within my soul's tapestry, yet it also raised a lingering question, one that stayed with me like the gentle tug of a current against my heart. Could I truly embrace my shadows as part of my pilgrimage? Would I have the strength to face them, to transform my struggles into stories of resilience? As I reflected, I felt the moon's gaze upon me, complete, unyielding, and full of love. Was this the sacred pleasure sailing through the heart of vulnerability, waiting to awaken me further into wholeness? As I emerged from the depths of the labyrinth within my mind, the starlit sky beckoned as if holding its breath for my answer. And standing at the edge of the lake, I sensed that the journey ahead would require not just the courage to surrender but also the audacity to love every piece of the unfolding mystery within me. The lake shimmered under the moon's caress, its surface glistening like a sea of diamonds. As I opened my eyes, the reverberations of the labyrinth still echoed in my heart. The whispers of the shadows remained with me, drawing me deeper into my journey toward an understanding that was clearly a continuum rather than a conclusion. I stood slowly, a feeling of metamorphosis swirling within me. A subtle shift in the atmosphere suggested I was not alone. Trusting the unexplainable pull once more, I let my intuition guide me back to the water's edge. There, the soothing waves had transformed, becoming a mirror that showed not just my reflection but also flickers of ancestral figures weaving into view, their stories intertwined with mine. As I gazed closer, I discerned those quaint figures, each of them a mirror to my past. Among them was an elderly woman with eyes deep as ancient wells and a smile that radiated both sorrow and joy. I recognized her instantly, though we had never met. She was my grandmother, a gentle spirit whose legacy loomed large over my family. The wind carried her laughter, inviting me to remember stories from my childhood, moments where resilience and love had forged bonds that transcended time. Remember the stories, she seemed to whisper. Each one nurtures you when you embrace it. The tales of courage, of pain, of love, they have shaped your spirit. I felt a jolt of recognition. The shadows I had begun to embrace were not forged in isolation. They were a collective experience, a familiar tapestry woven from shared joys and sorrows. Each stitch told a story, the fragility of life and the strength born from perseverance danced together. As I stood before the shimmering depths, I was enveloped in a newfound urgency to seek not just my journey ahead, but the journeys that had come before me. My heart quickened with the thought of reaching out, of reveling in the interconnectedness that runs through my lifeblood and the lifeblood of those who had walked before me. In that moment of clarity, I sensed something stir beneath the surface of the lake, drawing my focus back. The fish swam in elegant circles, their silver forms gliding seamlessly through the water, unfettered and free. They twirled and weaved, performing a sacred dance, a dance of unison with the water, embodying the relationships we create as we navigate our lives. Listen closely, a voice whispered in unison, both familiar and otherworldly. You are not alone in this exploration. The waters hold wisdom. The others before you have left fragments of their truth waiting for you to uncover. The thought hung heavy in the air like a mist. Sanctioning me to become more than a standalone narrative, it invited me toward collaboration with the past, urging me to embrace the legacy of those who came before. Each encounter, each pain transformed into art, each moment shared like ripples across the vast lake of existence revealed the sacred truth of belonging. Yet with this realization came a pressing question that echoed within me, contrasting the beauty of collective experience. How could I honor both my individual journey and share the stories of my ancestors without losing myself? Could I find strength in vulnerability while embracing the unique rhythm of my own life? The moonlight began to dim, hinting at the approaching dawn, a reminder that light will soon awaken a new day. I took a deep breath, imagining the possibilities of weaving my journey into the intricate fabric of historical tapestry rich with shared experiences, renewed strength, and discovered grace. Standing at the water's edge, I let the realization wash over me like waves lapping at the shore. Every choice I make, every shadow I face, and every story I embrace intertwine, forming an eternal bond with the universe around me. In this inception of understanding, I felt the warmth of awakening rising within, beckoning me to explore further, and as I began to contemplate the future, the choice to merge my voice with those of my lineage, a rousing question lingered in the ether. Would my journey of uncovering the sacred pleasure of storytelling reveal profound insights to not only transform my own soul but also contribute to the collective understanding of humanity? As the horizon darkened with the promise of dawn, a calm anticipation nestled itself within me, urging me onward into the mystery awaiting to unfold. The first rays of dawn painted the horizon with gentle strokes of gold, invoking a deep sense of reverence within. The transformation from night to day felt like a sacred rite, reflecting the internal awakening that had begun to unfurl within me. I lingered at the lake's edge, allowing the emerging light to penetrate my thoughts, illuminating the questions that weighed upon my heart. As I contemplated the interplay of stories and souls, a sudden ripple disrupted the lake's surface, capturing my attention. From the depths, an odd-shaped materialized a smooth, weathered stone glistening near the water's edge, half buried in the sandy shore. Its curved edges, though softened by time, displayed intricate carvings reminiscent of symbols from ancient writings. A feeling of urgency compelled me to examine it more closely. Crouching down, I traced my fingers over the markings. Each groove seemed to vibrate with a pulse, resonating with stories of wisdom, resilience, and human experience. The stone felt alive, like it harbored secrets meant to be unlocked. My heart raced as I pondered the stories it had witnessed over countless generations. What truths do you hold? I whispered, as if expecting the stone to speak. In that moment, a warm gust of wind whispered through the trees, carrying with it the faint scent of jasmine scent tethered tightly to my childhood memories of family gatherings and grand feasts. Suddenly, I was transported back, awash with laughter, shared stories, and the sound of my grandmother's voice filling the air. It was as though she had breathed life into the past and propelled me forward, urging me to unveil the hidden connections binding us all. With the first rays of sunlight, clarity began to settle within me. The stone's surface seemed to shimmer, casting illusions of faces and lights, revealing an insight of the interconnectedness I had felt at the lake. This ancient artifact was a bridge between the past and my evolving present. It symbolized the quest not only for my individuality but also for the collective experience of those gone before me. As I stood up, clutching the stone, an echo of laughter filled the air once more. A figure emerged from the perimeter of the trees, a woman cloaked in flowing garments that mirrored the colors of the dawn. Her eyes sparkled like constellations, speaking a language older than the words we knew. I felt drawn to her presence, an invitation to delve deeper. Do you wish to know the secrets of your soul? She asked, her voice both soothing and fierce. Listen closely to the whispers of the ages. They guide you toward your sacred purpose. I nodded, my heart swelling with curiosity. She gestured towards the lake, and I understood that the journey was more than personal. It was an unfolding of collective soul, a story that demanded to be told. I felt the weight of responsibility in allowing this knowledge to flow through me, choosing to bear the mantle of those who had come before so their legacies could live on. The idea was both daunting and exhilarating. Your path is shaped by your willingness to embrace the unknown, she continued, her gaze enigmatic. The stone is but a catalyst, you'll find more than just your truth. Your growth will ripple out, impacting each life intertwined with yours. Are you prepared for the journey ahead? in her question echoed the complexities of the human experience: fear, wisdom, love, loss, and transformation. The potential of what awaited began to ignite something deep inside me, a sacred resonance. I was not merely a voice in the crowd; instead, I could become a vessel that brought ancient stories to life, crafting a narrative that harmonized with the present, yet uncertainty lingered. As I clutched the stone, I pondered the nature of sharing my journey. What if the stories I unearthed transformed into burdens rather than blessings? Could the weight of my ancestors' experiences become too heavy to bear? How can I honor my unique voice and intertwine it with the gift of a shared legacy? As these ponderings swirled like currents through my mind, a phoenix in the distance took flight, stirring something primal within, the call of transformation, of rising anew. The sun climbed higher, casting warmth and vibrancy onto the landscape, a reminder that from the ashes of doubt and fear, new paths could be forged. With the woman's gaze lingering in my heart and the stone cradled carefully in my palms, I faced the lake once more. It was clear that my journey would not unfold without challenge. Each step would require courage, and each story would demand authenticity. Yet perhaps therein lay the beauty of it, an intricate dance of life where each choice, each truth, brought me closer to the light of understanding. As the sun's ascent illuminated the day, I held on to the questions that fueled my seeking. Would my quest for truth forge meaningful connections with others, bridging the divide between past and present? Could my voice resonate in harmony with those who came before, awakening the sacred pleasure of shared stories? The mystery remained as vibrant as the morning sky, beckoning me forward into a landscape rich with possibility. Each whisper and ripple suggested there was more to discover, as I stood on the cusp of embracing both myself and the legacy of my ancestors. In the silence, I felt a quiet promise the journey was just beginning. As I stood before the shimmering lake, clutching the stone tight in my hand, an inexplicable urge surged within me, urging me to venture further into the wilderness. The woman's words echoed like a haunting melody in the air, a reminder of the deeper meanings yet to be unearthed. The warmth of the sun against my skin ignited a sense of purpose, propelling me toward an unknown path. With each step into the thicket, the world around me seemed to shift languages, the whispers of leaves dancing as the wind rustled through. It felt as though the trees themselves were ancestral guardians, towering witnesses to the great tapestry of life. I inhaled the scent of earth and wildflowers, allowing nature's fragrance to entwine itself with my thoughts, wrapping around me like a comforting embrace. As I walked, the stone paused in my palm, resonating with energy, and I could not shake the sensation that it was guiding me. After a while, my feet carried me to a clearing where the sunlight streamed through the branches, casting ethereal patterns on the ground. At the center, a gnarled tree stood, its roots sprawling like a web reaching for the earth, its trunk thick and ancient, with a wide-open hollow cradling a mystical light. Curiosity urged me forward, and I approached the tree, feeling a magnetic pull. Suddenly, a shadow darted past me, and I turned to see a small creature fox with fur the color of autumn leaves. It stopped a few paces away and studied me with keen eyes, as if weighing my intentions. "Follow me, seeker," came a voice that resonated deep within me, as if it held the wisdom of ages. I didn't quite hear it, but rather felt it, a call beyond spoken language. Entranced, I followed the fox, my heart pounding with a mix of excitement and trepidation. The fox led me deeper into a thicket where the air thickened with a medley of scented moss, the sweetness of blooming flowers, and something elusive that tugged at my memory. We arrived at a vibrant glade bathed in hues that seemed otherworldly, an invitation to explore the beauty and bounty surrounding me. In the distance, a waterfall cascaded over smooth stones, sending sprays of mist into the air. I approached, feeling the ethereal energy radiating from the water. As I stood at its edge, entranced by the dance of droplets, the fox settled by a mossy stone and lay its head down, watching me with trusting eyes. I knelt beside it, transfixed by the iridescence of the water. The glimmering surface reflected images, snippets of moments from my life and others. Faces intermingled with laughter, tears, struggles, and triumphs. It was an echo of the interconnectedness I had sensed earlier at the lake. The water spoke with a voice that transcended sound, sharing truths that resonated deep within my soul. What do you seek? The water seemed to ask, its gentle rush propelling thoughts like arrows into my heart. I pondered my desires, the longing to understand my purpose and the thread that tied me to those who had come before me. My ancestors swept through my mind. Who were they? What dreams and fears did they harbor? As I peered into the crystalline depths, an image surfaced: a young girl standing at her grandmother's side, hands clasped in prayer, eyes wide with wonder. Was this me? An embodiment of hope, seeking connection, grasping at the threads of faith and honoring existence. I submerged my hand into the cool water, and I could feel the ancient heartbeat beneath the surface, its rhythm echoing my own essence. Each soul is a story, waiting to be told, the waterfall seemed to whisper. What will you share of yours? The question hung in the air like the sun's rays filtering through the branches above. I pulled my hand back, realization dawning with the weight of countless lives intertwined. My journey was not solely my own, it was a conduit for the echoes of those who journeyed before and beside me. Would I have the courage to share these revelations? To honor the stories woven through generations that had shaped me? As I rose to my feet, a burst of exhilaration coursed through me. I turned to the fox, now alert and watchful, as if affirming my resolve. I understood then that discovery would not just illuminate my path, but it would also beckon to others who sought understanding. The legacy of my ancestors called out to be acknowledged, cherished, and transformed into the tapestry of my own story. Yet, the underlying question lingered: how could I weave my narrative with theirs, while still honoring the unique voice that was mine alone? The mystery of blending these experiences, the past, the present, and all the souls who live amongst them, had no clear answer, but I felt a compulsion to explore further, to seek out the answers waiting to unfold. With renewed purpose, I turned back to the forest, ready to step beyond the glade and into each next moment. What awaited me, and how could I remain open to the lessons and connections unfolding in my path? The questions lingered like the echoes of the waterfall, alive and vibrant, urging me onward as I embraced the sacred uncertainty of my journey. Venturing forth into the embrace of the forest, I felt an exhilarating blend of anticipation and uncertainty pulsating within me. The path twisted, cloaked in a haven of greenery where sunlight fanned out like divine blessings. Each turn revealed a patchwork of vibrant flora, their colors vibrant against the backdrop of earthy browns and deep greens. The air tinged with the perfume of damp soil intertwined with the sweet essence of wild berries, evoking a primal sense of connection to the land. As I walked, my thoughts fluttered like the leaves overhead, scattering fragments of insight that rippled through my mind. The encounter by the waterfall had stirred something deep within me, a yearning to unlock not just the secrets of my soul, but the wisdom etched in the souls of my ancestors. What stories lay dormant, awaiting the gentle nudge of exploration to arise? Turning a corner, I stumbled upon a small stone circle emerging from the forest floor, its weathered stones standing sentinel to the passage of time. Curious, I stepped into the circle and felt an immediate shift in energy. It was as if the air itself had thickened, cocooning me in an atmosphere steeped in reverence and contemplation. The whispers of the breeze sang through the branches, creating a symphony that mirrored my heartbeat. I closed my eyes, allowing the forest melody to envelop me, and that's when it came, a vision that emerged from the tapestry of the past. I stood, not as I am now, but as a woman in a flowing dress, her hair streaming like cascading rivers of light. She carved symbols into the earth, each stroke of her hand carving out a spell of protection, a prayer for her kin. The warmth of her spirit seeped into mine, and I realized she was a keeper of stories, a guardian who passed wisdom from generation to generation. Remember us? Her voice danced across the distance, brushing against my consciousness. We are the roots that anchor you, and the wings that lift you. Your journey is our journey, weave us into your tale. As if summoned by her invocation, a soft rustling pulled my gaze to the edge of the circle. There stood a majestic stag, its coat shimmering like twilight. With antlers that spread wide, cradling the heavens, it regarded me with knowing eyes. I felt a pull of recognition, a connection that transcended time and space, as if the stag carried within it the essence of all that is sacred and wise. Seek the hidden, seeker, the stag's presence whispered. In the places you fear to tread lie stories waiting to unfurl. Trust your instincts, and be unafraid to delve into the depths. I fell to my knees, overcome by the weight of revelation. This journey was not merely about uncovering my personal history, it was a grand exploration of legacy and the interwoven threads of existence. Would I have the courage to embrace the shadows of my forebears, to stitch their stories into the vibrant fabric of my own? With a rush of life coursing through me, I stood and stepped out of the circle, feeling an indelible connection to the myriad of souls who had walked before and alongside me. The forest felt alive with whispers of wisdom, urging me to embrace the discomfort of diving into uncharted territory both within and beyond myself. I continued my walk, feeling the pulse of the earth beneath my feet, and then I glimpsed an ethereal glimmer in the distance, otherworldly light flickering through the trees. Intrigued, I followed it, excitement propelling me forward. My heart raced with each step, wonder blossoming within me as I approached this beacon. Upon arrival, I discovered a crystalline cave adorned with luminescent stones that cast radiant colors against the rocky walls. The soft glow enveloped me, illuminating the path ahead. Inside the cave, a quiet wisdom lingered, inviting exploration and introspection. A haunting beauty resonated with my spirit, awakening a desire to uncover not only the secrets of the cave but also those buried beneath the layers of my own soul. As I ventured deeper into the cave, the echoes of my ancestors sprinkled through my mind like stardust. Each whisper rebounded within me, encouraging me to uncover the richness of the stories entwined with my own. The possibilities were endless, sparking a fire of inspiration that danced within, urging me to embrace the mysteries of existence and express the sacred pleasure of being alive. Yet, as I stood in the heart of the cave, a question arose, persistent and insistent: how do I honor the voice of the past while fashioning my own narrative in this present moment? How can I distill the wisdom of those who walked before me and transform it into a song that is uniquely mine? As I contemplated this conundrum, the flickering lights around me began to pulsate in rhythm with my heartbeat, and I felt the cave respond to my wondrous space, both sacred and timeless, a portal leading to the deeper meaning awaiting discovery. My journey was far from finished, it was shifting, expanding, leading me to the revelations just beyond my grasp. I took a deep breath, steeling myself for the exploration ahead. The path may twist and turn, new shadows may rise to meet me, but the promise of intertwining legacies and unlocked mysteries strummed vibrantly in my chest. What new truths awaited me in this luminous sanctuary, and how would my exploration transform the essence of my being? The questions sparkled like the stones surrounding me, enticing me deeper into the unknown, where the treasures of my soul awaited. The air in the cave shimmered, thick with possibilities as I ventured farther into its depths, drawn by the pulsing glow that seemed to beckon with the promise of revelations yet unfathomed. The walls, adorned with intricately etched patterns, whispered tales of those who had sought wisdom within these sacred confines. I ran my fingers across the cool, rugged surfaces, feeling the grooves and rises, as if each line held the memory of a story longing to be told. Guided by the ethereal illumination, I reached a vast chamber at the heart of the cave, its ceiling arching high like a cathedral of starlight. Within this sanctuary, a tranquil pool of water lay, its mirror-like surface reflecting the luminous stones above. I knelt beside it, mesmerized by the stillness that enveloped me, and gazed into the depth of the water as it harbored reflections not just of my physical self but of the myriad lives and echoes of ancestors embedded in my being. Suddenly, images began to dance across the surface, fragments of experiences, both joyful and painful, unspooled before me like an ancient tapestry revealing the interactions of generations. I saw a woman, her hands careless but graceful, weaving fabric under the watchful gaze of the sun, a man, stoic yet warm, tending to a fire that flickered with purpose. Their laughter harmonized with the crackling of wood, their voices vibrating with history, resonating within me as if I was part of their very existence. Every choice, every struggle, every triumph, a soft voice resonated, guiding me through the visions, is the thread that enriches the fabric of your life. Honor these moments, for they sculpt not just who you are but who you can become. The weight of their shared experiences cascaded over me, urging me deeper into reflection. Would I embrace both the light and shadow that defined my lineage? Could I walk courageously into the stories that felt too heavy, too complicated, or too steeped in sorrow. As I pondered, the surface of the pool rippled, and the reflections collided, bringing forth a new figure, a wise elder with gently wrinkled skin and eyes that held the wisdom of ancient trees. The elder spoke, "You stand at a crossroads, dear one. The way forward is not paved with certainty, but with wonder and questioning. Ask not just what you must heal, but what carries you forward. The light and shadow exist in tandem, weaving a narrative that is uniquely yours." A chill ran down my spine, igniting a fierce curiosity. What stories of joy, loss, and redemption did I still need to unearth? Could I give voice to those silent narratives, transforming pain into purpose, crafting a future that was a celebration of the past? With each reflection, the pool began to tremble, swirling with colors that changed with my thoughts, revealing an impression of my own voice. "But," I whispered, "how do I transform these stories into my own? What does my voice sound like when carved from the essence of my ancestors?" The echoes from the depths responded not with answers but with birdsong's sweet symphony of life returning to its rhythm after a storm. The cave seemed to sway in harmony with my heart's inquiry, inviting me to integrate the echoes rather than end the conversation. My quest was not solitary, it was interlaced with the wisdom of those who walked before me and the endless quest for understanding. As I stood, the echoes of the past still resonating within me, a rustle approached from behind. I turned to see the shimmering stag emerge from the shadows of the cavern, its presence charging the space with an ethereal energy. It approached the water's edge, gazing into the depths with solemnity, as if it too was piecing together the intricate web of stories. "This sacred place is but a gateway," it spoke softly, its voice resonating through my being. "To truly unlock the treasures of your soul, you must venture outside the cave and into the world, where the dance of life unfolds. There, amidst the trials and triumphs, lay the sacred pleasure and wisdom you seek." I felt my resolve strengthen as I regarded the polar wellspring of potential, reminded that the journey transcends this moment. It is the intertwining of my past, present, and future. What awaited me beyond the cave's embrace? How would the tales I uncovered continue to reshape my identity? With a heart brimming with resolve, I understood that the journey ahead would require courage to embrace the unknown, and the intention to honor the whispers of my ancestors while forging my own path. As I took a deep breath, an invisible thread began to weave itself through my spirit, binding the vibrant hue of the past to the canvas of my becoming. A fresh question unfurled within me, swirling like the flickers of light around the cave. How can I carry the weight of my ancestors with grace, illuminating my path as I dance with the shadows of my lineage? How do I step into the world, weaving my story while honoring theirs, transforming echoes into a melody that celebrates the beauty of existence? As dawn broke anew, bathing the cavern in a gentle glow, I felt the weight of revelation settle within me. I rose, the echo of my ancestors still humming in the air, and made my way toward the exit, heart racing with a potent mix of anticipation and resolve. The wise stag, my silent companion, seemed to guide my every step, urging me toward a life rich with story and connection. Emerging into the forest, sunlight poured in, illuminating the way ahead. I drew in a deep breath, inhaling the essence of the earth, ripe with stories waiting to be uncovered. In the light of day, each leaf shimmered like a note in an eternal symphony, the whispering winds carrying my lineage's secrets back into the world. I had transformed, no longer merely a seeker but a vessel ready to weave the tales of those who had come before me into my own. As I walked, I felt the pulse of life all around me, heard the laughter of birds and the rustle of leaves swaying in rhythm with my thoughts. Here, standing at the intersection of past and present, I began to grasp the profound truth: my story did not solely belong to me, it was an invitation for connection, a shared narrative waiting to be expressed. Each step I took resonated with my commitment to embrace both light and shadow, the intricate tapestry of humanity sewn from threads of joy, sorrow, resilience, and hope. The ancestors that walked with me from the depths of the cave flourished in my heart. They whispered encouragement and love, urging me forward. "Tell our stories, beloved," they seemed to call, "make them your own." A wild exhilaration surged within me, for I realized I could allow their voices to flow through me and transform them into something new, something beautifully mine. This was the sacred pleasure of discovery, the alchemy that turned buried stories into vibrant expressions of life and truth, transforming pain into purpose, struggle into resilience, and loss into bonds of love. I made my way through the forest, the end of one journey signifying the beginning of another, inviting me to engage with every moment. The energy shifted, swirling around like a dance, drawing me deeper into the mystery of existence. I took solace in the knowledge that every encounter would enhance my understanding and deepen my connection with the world around me. I felt the urge to reach out, to share, to listen deeply. With each person I met, I would invite them to unveil their stories, to weave their experiences into the ever-evolving tapestry of life. In sharing our narratives, perhaps we would kindle flames of understanding and compassion, igniting connections that transcended time and space. And so, as the sun rose higher, painting the sky with the brightness of possibility, I stepped into the heart of the bustling world, ready to embrace the dance of life. I understood that to unlock the hidden secrets of my soul was to courageously embrace it all: the laughter, the heartache, the dreams nurtured in quiet moments, the whispers of wisdom that traveled through generations. I carried the smooth, weathered stone in my pocket, a grounding reminder that the answers I sought lay not merely in the depths of my introspection but also in the connections I would forge with those around me. In that revelation, I found my purpose: to celebrate life's essence through storytelling and love, to honor those who had come before, and to invite the light that emerged from shadows into the world. With every heartbeat resonating in rhythm with the universe, I drew a breath, feeling the sacred pulse of existence flow through me like a river of joy. I resolved to share the truth I've uncovered, my voice interwoven with the echoes of those who came before me. As I stepped into the vibrant embrace of life, the final insight blossomed within me like a luminous flower transcending boundaries, a universal truth. In every story lies the transformative power to unite us, to heal, to enlighten. The sacred pleasure of being alive was found not in solitude but in the symphony of our collective journeys, and with that understanding, I whispered to the universe, let me be a vessel of grace, a weaver of stories, and in every tale I tell, may I illuminate the path toward connection, understanding, and love. For in the end, we are all but stories woven together in the rich and beautiful tapestry of humanity.